Hi, and welcome back to another video. For today's subject, we're gonna be talking about... Well, basically, we're gonna dig deeper into the LVU lore for today's video. Also, quick warning, this AI voice thingy will most likely pronounce some words weirdly, so I apologize for that. Like just now, for example. Anyways, let's get started here. Now, if you don't know the LVU already, here's a quick summary of what it is. The LVU is home of the unique people, and the home of our 8 heroes. I'm not sure why this stupid voice thingy pronounces it as LVU instead of LVU. Oh, actually, I can just say LVU. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. So the name of the planet that the LVU and everyone else lives on goes by the name iridescent. Oh, then why is the LVU's symbol Saturn if they live someplace else? I don't know, man. I might just change their symbol to the star symbol. Saturn's just a lovely planet. I love the rings and everything about it. That's why I chose it as the symbol. So anyways, iridescent had a huge battle between them and their arch nemesis, Lacuna. The rulers of Lacuna have always been jealous of how adored Iridescent was. Iridescent was described as beautiful, friendly, and safe haven. Many people looked up to the rulers of Iridescent, as they were kind, generous, and always encouraged their citizens to be themselves. The rulers of Lacuna figured that if Iridescent had their citizens scared away from the planet, then it wouldn't be as safe as people thought it was. This led to a huge battle between Lacuna and Iridescent. Lacuna's soldiers had a surprise attack on Iridescent. Once the rulers of Iridescent found out, they sent their soldiers out to fight. One long battle later, the natural beauty and safety of Iridescent was ruined. All citizens felt unsafe on what was once their home. Everyone eventually left the planet and moved to planet Elysian. Elysian's rulers had peace with Iridescent, so they welcomed them all to stay on their planet. The rulers of Iridescent figured that it would be best if no one went back to their planet, and from there on out, planet Iridescent was abandoned. Or so, they thought it was. Years pass by, the rulers of Iridescent have passed, Iridescent has become nothing but a memory, and then, a group of heroes come together. Jax and Miri, 2 young kids who spent most of their lives together, as they had many connections with each other, considered to be the sun and moon duo. Mon, a young boy who always helps people quickly when they need help with something. He likes helping people and is always quick. Vivi and Rhea, they both met each other when Vivi was at the ocean front. They found each other to be friends despite their different interests. They found out there were a couple of things that they share in common. They soon became best friends after. Lex, a girl who had a dream of being a hero. She wanted to restore Iridescent and make it what it once was again. A, an alien who came from a different planet, due to being humiliated by citizens because of her looks, she begged the rulers of her planet to transfer her to Elysian. Then, Lex found her after she arrived and they became close friends. And Zach, a boy who people poked fun at. He was a very nice kid to everyone, but other kids his age made fun of him, saying he's a loser and that he's weird because he was too nice. He got really insecure about it, and he stopped interacting with people after that. These people would have never expected themselves to be actual heroes. None of them did. When Lex discovered the tragic events between Iridescent and Lacuna, she wanted to save the abandoned planet, so everyone can return. One day, while she was in the library of Elysian, she found an old book. The book contained the powers of the deceased rulers of Iridescent. She wasn't supposed to find that book, but she did, somehow. Once the book was in her hands, she kept it for later use. Now, the 8 of them were already friends with each other, so Lex figured if she was gonna save Iridescent, she would need some help along the way. She then revealed to her friends that she has the book and she tried to get them to help her with reason. Some were on board, but the others felt like it was too risky and were hesitant, but what Lex told them was what made them change their mind. We can't just let Lacuna win and take our home away from us, we need to do what's right. Think about the people, think about us, and most importantly, think about yourselves. If we can't save Iridescent, then who will? Everyone else has already given up on it, but not us. Iridescent and its citizens need to reunite, once and for all. Everyone finally agreed to it. Lex pulled out the magic book and opened it, releasing its powers into the 8 of them. This is the part where they got their powers that they currently have now. Jax had the power of time. He had the ability to change what time it was. This included being able to change the day, week, month, and year. He can defend himself by sending enemies into long loops where they would be stuck there forever with no escape. Miri had the power of light. She can control light and use it for attraction and defending. She can blind enemies so they can't see, and then she would attack them. She can also distract enemies using her bright lights. Mon had the power of speed. He was able to change how fast or slow he wanted to go. This gave him an advantage to get away from enemies easily. He can also use his power to force the enemies to slow down, or run very fast to the point where they can't control themselves. Vivi had the power of height. She can jump to extremely high places. She can jump over the enemy's head and attack them from behind. She can also make the enemies jump uncontrollably. Rhea had the power of waves. While she's a mermaid, she can attack both above and underwater. She can use her waves to force the enemies away. She can also use her waves to bring her up to certain heights. Lex had the power of healing. While she can't exactly attack like the others can, she can help by healing the members who are injured badly and herself. She can also fly away from enemies using her wings. They had the power of teleportation. She can teleport herself and anyone else to wherever they want to be. She uses this power to get away from enemies and to scare enemies. She can also teleport enemies away, but she doesn't because she feels like it would be too easy. And lastly, Zack had the power of music or sound. He can create any sound or song imaginable. He can use his powers to blast loud music into the enemy's ears. He can also make the enemies listen to extremely loud and annoying music because he just thinks it's funny. Now that we've gone over their powers, it's the moment you might have been waiting for. Now, it is time for the battle that would determine the future of our 8 heroes. Once they have all achieved their powers, they had Faye teleport them to Iridescent. Once they arrived, they are in shock of what the former safe place of their home looked like. It was turned into a zone where harm was created. There were big, aggressive, ugly-looking monsters roaming about. They must have came from Lacuna in order to keep people from coming back. The team knew what they had to do. They had to battle against the monsters and demand that they get their home back. Jax was the first to attack. He made some of the monsters freeze in time, then he slashed them with his sword. Miri came in next. She blinded the monsters with her sunray. The monsters were having a hard time seeing. They were struggling to attack her. Then Mon came in and slowed the monsters' speed, and then Miri lit the monsters on fire. Meanwhile, with Vivi and Rhea, Vivi was trapped by one of the monsters. Rhea helped her by washing the monster away with her strong wave. Then Vivi jumped towards the monster and killed it with her arrow. With Lex, Faye and Zack was cornered by the monsters. They started attacking him. He got badly injured, but thankfully Faye teleported him out of there and brought him to Lex. Lex healed him. Later, all 8 of them were surrounded by the remaining monsters. There were a lot of them. They figured it would take too long and it would be risky to fight these monsters individually. That's when Lex remembered a certain spell in the book. The Unite spell. For this spell, they all joined hands to form a circle, and when they formed their powers together, they became extremely powerful. They blasted all of the monsters away with all their might and energy. None were left. They were about to go to Lacuna to demand that they get their planet back, but there was no need, because the rulers, who were somehow still alive, were already there. They were afraid that the rulers would attack, but it was the opposite. The rulers begged for forgiveness, saying that it was wrong of them to take away the homes of many people, just because of their lack of respect for the previous rulers of Iridescent. They wanted to come at peace. The 8 heroes decided if that's all they had to do to get their home back, then they would forgive Lacuna, and so they did. Jax used his powers to bring back the previous look of Iridescent before it got ruined. All of its natural beauty, homes, environment, and overall happiness came back. The rulers of Lacuna went back to their own planet, and the 8 heroes went back to Elysian to tell the Iridescent citizens about the good news. At first, they didn't believe them and even scolded them for joking about something like that. But all it took was phase teleportation to finally make them believe it. All Iridescent citizens were brought back to their home, their haven. It was a happy ending for everyone, including our 8 heroes. And finally, for the aftermath. From that day, everything went back to how it used to be. All citizens admired the 8 heroes who saved Iridescent. They were given the name United for teaming up together to fight off the monsters and getting their home back. Each of them helped their community grow stronger and stronger each day, so nothing bad ever happens to their planet again. They were all well respected from Elysian, Lacuna, and even other planets within their universe. And that, everyone, was the story of United. I spent way too long on this video, but I am glad on how it turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed it and somewhat understand what the LVU is all about now. But that's all for now. I will see you guys in the next video. Later.